But we can look at it and release it and say, now there's something we need to do about all this when we embrace it. We need to put this in our conscience, and I thought about that this morning. Angelo, you need to put in your conscience that, Angelo, I am the most important asset that I have. Angelo is the most important asset that I have. Each one of us is the most important asset that we have. And here's the neat thing about it. If I put a small value on who I think I am, the universe isn't going to raise the price. If I put that small value on it, that's where I'm stuck with. And I'll tell you this. Every day we have an opportunity to set the price of who we are. We do it. And we're Pizelloizing all this stuff, but it's kind of cool. And I've got an ego, and I accept it as being something cool. But every day, we put the price on who we are. And how do we do that? You know, if something irritates us, what do? We fly off the handle, or we let that dominate my experience, and I think about it, I whine about it, like I do with the car, and I write home to mommy about it, I do all this stuff. I'm putting a low price tag on who I am. And so what I'm doing at that point is telling the universe, hey, you know, give me more of the same. I enjoy being a victim. So when we set the price, then we're telling the universe that I'm a very valuable individual. I recognize the power that I have within me, this wonderful power that responds to whatever I want to do. If I dream it, I can achieve it. It's there. And so there's a story I read this week of how people in the workforce lower their price with excuses and alibis when they don't want to go to work. It's kind of funny. It's lighthearted. And these are actual statements that appear that the business people say. I couldn't come to work today because my dog was having a nervous breakdown. And this is used. My dead grandmother was being exhumed for a police investigation. You know? and what we're getting at here is, my gosh, take the meaning of it. If you don't want to go to work, pick up the phone and say, I'm not going to work. I don't feel like doing it. I know you'll get fired, but who cares? My toe got stuck in a faucet, so I couldn't come to work. A bird bit me? Come on. My hair was turned red by an at-home dye set. I got sick from reading too much. And here's the ultimate. The sobriety tool on my car would not let me start it. It's kind of funny to look at the human drama and see all the excuses we make, not taking responsibility for what's going on, going to a deeper level and allowing that to occur. Larry Dossey, how many of you know about Larry Dossey? He's a physician and an author, and he's kind of cool. He's done some really good things, but he's an expert in mind-body relationships. We have a tremendous relationship with the mind and the body. We're always communicating with this body. And every cell, the trillions of cells, they're intelligent. They respond to our thoughts. Whether we like it or not, quantum physics is proving that PLC is right all along. That there is no dead matter, it's all alive. There's molecules and atoms and all these quirks and all these things. And Bob Hand, I'll leave it up to him. He's the expert on that. And so current research shows that there's a direct relationship on what we think and particularly what we feel as to how our body responds. One research showed that if the body, if we really believe something in mind, we believe that this particular pill will cure us or will heal the pain that we have. The research shows that the body produces endorphins that will literally do the job, even if it's a placebo. Isn't that incredible? That we have this control over our lives. There's a story that illustrates this, and it appeared in Discovery Health Channel. How many of you have heard the Discovery Health Channel? And it was by Dr. Clifton Meter. Dr. Clifton told this story to the Discovery Channel about a guy named Sam Landy. Sam Landy goes to the doctor. He's not feeling well. He had a hard time eating, and etc. So the diagnosis was you have cancer of the esophagus. Well, you know, in those days, that was years ago, cancer of the esophagus was a fatal thing. I mean, people died, it was almost 100% fatal. However, rather than say, I want a second opinion, I want to look at other doctors, I want to have other checks and do this and that, he accepted this emotionally. He accepted the fact that he was a dead duck, that he was going to die. I shouldn't use the word dead duck, should I? No, I shouldn't. But he accepted the fact that he was going to pass on. And to nobody's surprise, he died a few weeks later. And here is the surprise, though. The surprise was during the autopsy, no cancer was found in his esophagus. None. None. His mind did something else. So what did he die of? And Meter's explaining this to the Discovery Channel. Well, he had all of us has, they tell me, a little bit of cancer in our bodies. He had spots of cancer hither and yon, but not enough to kill him. So what did he die of? Anybody tell me?
Expectations.
He died because his mind, he decided that he was going to die. And he did it with emotion and tears and all this. Because, you know, it isn't so much the word that this mother within or the feminine principle reacts to. It's the feeling, the emotion. And we always say in this belief system, if you want to experience abundance, but you're emotionally feeling lack, the mother within is going to give you more lack until you get to the point where you eliminate this idea of feeling that you're needy. And this is what happened with him. So what he did, he didn't die of cancer. He died with cancer, but he died because his mind told him that he was going to die. And so he died. And what he did, when he accepted that with all the emotion and everything that he was going through, the feminine principle, aka also known as the soul, the Lord, the subconscious mind, they just said, okay, if that's what you want, that's what we're going to give you. See, this soul, this subconscious mind, the feminine within, actually operates and reasons what we call deductively, not inductively. It doesn't judge. It doesn't say, oh, Sam, wait a minute, you're a neat guy. You give to your church, PLC, and you do all these great things. Therefore, you're not going to die. No, it figures things out deductively. It takes verbatim what we put into mind, and it produces the life experience. Anybody agree with that? Yes. Here's what I like to use, and I've done it for years. I borrow this. This is not Angelo's, and you may have heard it before, but I use it almost daily. Because I think I need remembrances. I need to remember, even ministers, they drop off the edge sometimes, and we're not in principle. Annabelle can tell you this, she's my friend, and she always says, hey, wait a minute, Angela, what did you just say? Anyway, and so does Stella, she's but as we slide down the banister of life, make sure the splinters are facing the right direction. I'll tell you, it will work miracles in your life. It really does. Because if you leave here today and somebody flips you off out there, you can say, you know, as I slide down the banister of life, I need to make sure that the splinters are facing in the right direction. And so it's kind of interesting. And I think it's a metaphor for what we call the sovereignty of our own life. We face splinters every day, sometimes multiple splinters. And what are these splinters? Anybody know? What are the splinters? Relationships that drive you absolutely crazy. Fear and doubt. Or I'm not good enough. The regurgitation of what happened to you last year, it's right there. And the problem with that is, when you bring something from the past into the mind, the body doesn't know that it was in the past. That it happened 35 years ago and you're still carrying it. It thinks it's happening right now. So it's reacting. And research shows that stress, there's a relationship between stress and disease. Disease. But anyway, here's the real shocker in all this. The shocker is that these splinters are beautiful. They're valuable. They're important to us. Can we accept that? We just need to know how to switch them in the right direction. And we do that by not giving power to the splinter. If somebody looks at me and says, Angelo, I think you're blah, 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 and I'll show you how to mitigate that. I don't use it now, or what I do about it, but okay, it's a passing thing, it's a bump in the road, so what, you know. So anyway, but we need to mitigate it, but the splinters are important. I always say, and you're sick of hearing it, I know, but we're on vacation here on planet Earth. We're spiritual beings having a vacation. We're here temporarily. And we're here to experience the whole enchilada of this human drama, including the bumps on the road and the rocks that hit our doorstep. We need to experience those things. And what these bumps in the road do for Angelo, I'm always so much better when I achieved an overcoming something that wants my attention, that wants dominion over my life. I'm so much better having gone through it. How many of you feel that way? If you've gone through something rough in your life that happened 2 or 3 or 4 years or 10 years ago, you look back and say, my God, I'm so much better off for it. So what this does for us, if we can just say, I'm grateful for the bumps in the road, because it brought me closer to my understanding of what this world's all about. It brought me love and compassion. It brought me an idea that to be strong in spirit is more important than to have an accumulation of goods. And so, how do we mitigate this? I'll wind this down a little bit. How do we mitigate? How do we turn these splinters so that they're facing the right way? Well, I think we need to develop in consciousness a so what, I don't mind attitude. I'll tell you, it works. And I have developed this over the years. And people say, well, you don't really care. Yeah, I do. I care about Angelo. I care about the fact that I'm not going to give power to something that is displeasing me, or that can bring me pain in my life, or can destroy my health. I refuse to do it. I love who I am, and I am not going to do that. I'm not going to give it power, and so what? So this is happening to me, and I don't mind that it's happening because it'll bring me closer to the divine. But I'm not going to give power to it by writing home about it, by taking it home to mommy, or to whine and cry about it. No. It's a passing phenomenon. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to release it and know that I'm a powerful spiritual being that will expand in my life if that's what I focus on. Anybody agree with that?
Yeah.
So I didn't say, go through this world saying, so what, so what, so what, so what? I don't mind. And Krishnamurtha is that Indian wonderful speaker, and God, he's my mentor. He has been. He's been dead for a long time. But he's been my mentor, and his belief system has been my goal all my life. I've been at this for 42 years, almost my age. But Krishnamurtha, after he was ready to make the transition, he was decided, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go on to a new plane. And before he died, he told his followers, he had followers all over the world. He was a traveler for 50 years, and he just spread the message worldwide. And he said, I'm going to tell you what my secret of prosperity, my secret of having a joy-filled, abundant life, and this is my secret. And they all listened, and they said, here's my secret. I don't mind what happens. That's his secret. I don't mind what happens. And so that's what I'm saying today during this month. We can say, whatever happens, we don't mind what's happening. It's a good thing. We may not like it, but we're going to release it and let it go and not make it a permanent structure. They say if you're walking through the valley of death, don't build your tent there, and that's what we're going to do. So in closing, I can say this, and I came up with a kind of neat statement here, that as we focus on this month, and as we focus on the power that we have that can create all these wonderful things in our life, we need to keep one thing in mind as we slide down that banister of life. Troubles are like babies. They only grow if you nurse them. And say it with me loud and clear.
And so it is.
We're done.